beautiful Saturday night in San Diego for Game 3 with the Padres. Max Scherzer goes for his 4th straight win with the league's hottest offense ready to support his cause. So now the Nats are 18 games over 500. They could be 20 over. Ryan Zimmerman, big home run here last night. Walking to the ballpark, some of his fans. The Nats have a lot of followers here in Southern California. And why not? A season-high 6-game lead over the Mets. Right now, they're in the middle innings ahead of Atlanta. Could be 7 at the end of the night. You never know. And it could be 20 over 500, as this guy almost predicted a couple of days ago. Credit where credit is due. But it's all clicking. And tonight, there's a guy pitching named Max.
Yeah, and every 5th day, it seems like an event when Max Scherzer takes the mound. If you go back to his last start against the Cubs on Monday, he struck out 8 of the first 9 Cubs he faced. You remember Ben Zobrist hit a ground ball to second base, and that was it. He was establishing the fastball. It was jumping out of his hand, 95, 97 miles an hour. He threw it 58% of the time. There was only one start on April 11th against the Braves where he threw it more, 59% of the time. So he threw the 3-2 slider to Addison Russell. So what? Max Scherzer was locked and loaded. That was a personal vendetta against the Cubs, who got him in Wrigley Field. And you remember last year in San Diego, they had a bunch of Navy SEALs watching him pitch. He was fired up. He'll be fired up again here tonight.
So let's go month by month by month, and the record keeps getting better. The ERA keeps going down. Max, for the most part, keeping the ball in the yard a lot more than he had earlier in the season, and he's got the fastball combination. I just heard one of the radio guys from San Diego call that a wipeout slider, and we'll see how many Ks he puts on the board tonight. The pitchers, they love it because they know they don't have to be perfect. They give up a couple of runs. This offense is going to take care of them.
Yeah, I mean, I think Steven Strasburg, a perfect example, gave up 4 early runs a couple of starts ago, ended up winning that game. So the offense is clicking, balls are flying out of the yard, they're doing everything right. And you look at the record, the last 12 games, 10-2, almost 7 runs a game, almost hitting 300. Runners in scoring position, nice. Extra base hits all over the joint. This club is definitely hitting its stride mid-June.
The Nats are 4th in the league in runs, 1st in homers, and the stolen bases are up. And the offense on display last night with 7 runs on 11 hits, a couple of home runs. So the hitting has been timely, the hitting has been clutch, and the line keeps on moving for the Nats, looking for a series win tonight. Gaslamp Quarter, great area of downtown San Diego, just outside the left field corner here at the ballpark. It's Petco Park. The Nats have been so good here over the years. They continue to dominate the Padres in their own yard, and so far so good on an unbeaten road trip. So the Nats now 43 wins. The Cubs have 45, so it's second most, and Texas won their 44th today, by the way, beating St. Louis. So the Nats 4-5 record in the last 19 in San Diego. There's that dominance I talked to you about. And the last teammates to finish 1-2 in National League batting, Larry Walker, Todd Helton, it's Murphy and Ramos right now. Back in 01, Walker hit .350, Helton hit .336. Eerily similar to what the batting averages are for Murphy and for Ramos right now. By the way, Wilson also slugging, runners in scoring position, Murphy extra base hits, RBIs, you name it. Big crowd coming in on a little cloudy, cool, but very beautiful Saturday evening. It's time to win a series. Nationals baseball on Masson, brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. And by Eastern Lexus. Some things are simply impossible to ignore. The strikingly designed Lexus NX Turbo and Hybrid. Padres at home 16-22. The Nationals on the road 23-13. 2-0 against the West. It's going to be a gorgeous night here in San Diego. Sunny till just after noon this afternoon. Then the clouds came. Hey, it's 73 degrees. Who's complaining? Humidity, middling 59%. Here's the Nats lineup. 29th multi-hit game for Daniel Murphy last night. He is one behind Xander Bogaerts of the Red Sox for #1 in all of baseball, but he and Zimmerman get Thursday off. Then they come out last night, and the two of them drive in 4 runs. So Jason Worth gets the evening off. Anthony Rendon is off. Thus, Revere and Taylor at the top, and Stephen Drew, a potent bat, down in that #7 spot. 25-year-old right-hander Colin Ray from Cascade, Iowa, pitched at Indiana State. First time the Nats see him.
Yeah, likes the fastball. He throws it a lot. He'll sink it, he'll cut it, he'll elevate the fastball with 2 strikes. This guy got it zone up. Likes to work down in the zone. Last start he took the loss on the 13th against the Marlins. Get this, he went just 2 2/3, allowed 8 runs on 9 hits. So he is trying to find it. The last 3 starts, he has an 8.40 ERA. Here's the defense for the Padres behind Ray. Upton Jr., Jay Kemp, your outfield. Ramirez, Wallace left side, Schimpf, Myers right side, and Derek Norris behind the plate.
Yeah, Derek Norris, another home run against the Nats last night. Career 4 homers, 13 RBIs, and a .313 batting average in 10 games. So he handles Colin Ray, who career is 5-5, 19 games, 18 starts. Brian Knight, 16th year in the big leagues, has the plate. Sam Holbrook at first. Jerry Davis, nearly 30 years in the big leagues. He's the crew chief. And there's Carlos Torres. He's a tough guy. We like him. took that shot off the arm, umped the rest of the game behind the plate. He gets the third base assignment tonight. So here's Ben Revere. Doesn't have a hit in the series, but he's managed to get on base and do some damage. First pitch right on time at 10:10 Eastern. Ben 0 for 4, but a walk, a steal, and he has scored a couple of runs. He is 14 for his last 42. High fastball. He fouls it to the left side. So the Nats start the night 8th in the league with a batting mark of .251, up to 4th in runs still, and now by a wider margin thanks to Worth and the rest of the lumber company, or the power company, whatever you want to call him. First in the league in home runs. Strike 3 call. Revere gave up on it, and it was up in the zone and stayed there for the first out.
That's a high strike, and all of a sudden Brian Knight's hearing it from the Nats dugout. That's not even close to pitch track. And Ben Revere is not the tallest dude in the world.
That would be borderline to Zimmerman or Worth, or guys much bigger than our center or our left fielder tonight. Wow. That might be the highest pitch all year we've seen called.
You know, if you miss one in the middle of a count, hitters will shake their head. But with 2 strikes as an umpire, that's when you have to bear down. You really have to lock in with 2, no matter who's hitting.
Target in on Taylor, who over his last 15 starts has 19 hits, a .297 batting average, and has scored 9 runs. 1 for 5 in this series with a stolen base and a run scored. Ray, a 12th rounder 5 years ago out of Indiana State. And Taylor takes it low, and there are no low strikes, we have found out as well.
Well, that's not good news for Ray, because that's where he makes his living, down the zone. If he has to elevate, that 92-mile-an-hour fastball is going to get hit. He's putting those pitches exactly where he wants them. Now he's getting frustrated.
Shift on with Taylor. 3-1 pitch. Michael A had a really good rip. So first 2 games of the series for the Nats, 15 runs on 20 hits. In 2 games, stranding 11 runners. They make good use of their base runners. Dusty's Ball Club not leaving many stranded these days. Inside to Taylor. There's a base runner with 1 out. And a base runner who's 8 out of 11 so far, with Bryce coming in. So 4 for 8 in this series, and Bryce elevating his career numbers against San Diego. Now we know why they hired Mark McGwire. They didn't want him to hit against him anymore. Unbelievable slugging percentage. Bryce at .828. Sosa. Oda B. McDowell, longtime Texas Ranger and Atlanta Brave, and those numbers inside him by Jeep. So Bryce 333 over his last 12 games. Out to center. It'll carry right to John Jay for the second out. Next up, Murphy.
Good at bat, hit it hard. Bryce has been hitting on the field this whole road trip, and he's working exclusively on going up the middle and the other way. He only pulled a handful of baseballs today during batting practice, and you see the results there. That swing's starting to lock in a little bit for Bryce. Good balance, hit it on the screws. Just hit it too hard.
All right, let me ask you something about the whole in the cage or on the field thing. When you're trying to go the other way a lot, is it important to be outside and see the actual ball flight and where some of those end up, as opposed to going right into a net?
Absolutely. It's a great question.
Taylor on the move, didn't get a great jump, but he's in there. Throw a little bit high. ALEXEI Ramirez came forward to get it, and that's 9 bags on the year in 12 attempts for Michael A. Taylor.
Well, great jump right here. Just puts his head down, straight steal all the way. Looking for the outside of the bag. Derek Norris can't get it there. Nicely done by Michael Taylor. But to finish your question, Carp, if I'm hitting the ball in the cage the other way, I'm not seeing the rotation on the baseball or the carry on it. In essence, then you're just hitting the ball to left. If I'm hitting it on the field, I'm seeing if I'm staying through it, and the ball has backspin like we talked about with Daniel Murphy's home run last night.
And Murphy, chance to put the Nats on top here. Taylor flying home, and Daniel Murphy has done it again with his 46th RBI. Now 3 for 5 in the series with 4 batted in, and yeah, he didn't even play Thursday night.
Well, there goes the no-hitter. Daniel Murphy hits Murphy. Look at him back-legging that. Just staying behind the baseball, head perfectly still. I mean, I can't wait till this guy gets up to hit. I really can't. It's becoming must-see TV, and an event in and of itself, and the hits just keep on coming for Daniel Murphy, putting his ball club up 1-0.
Yeah, and Taylor going leadoff mode, drawing the walk, stealing second, scoring on a single. It's great stuff. Here's Zimmerman. Ryan, a home run here last night that's still screaming. That ball hits so hard. And this one's off the pitcher. Deflects to the shortstop, Ramirez. And Zimmerman out on a close play. 1-6-3. The Nats come out on the attack, and they're on the board first on a Saturday night. Right across from our hotel. Go there and you might see 1 or 2 of our crew anytime, any day.
Yeah, get the mahi tacos. They're real good. The sea bass ones are okay.
So the Nats hoping to feed on some pods tonight. San Diego 11th in the league in hitting, 10th in runs, 9th in home runs. Don't blame Derek Norris for what he does against the Nats, though. Talked about his numbers earlier. And the former Nationals minor leaguer also hitting .327 in the month of June. Will Myers having a great June at .349. John Jay doing damage in the leadoff spot. Max, 7th career start against San Diego, 2-2 with a .275.
Tossed 7 innings for his 5th consecutive start last time against the Cubs. He was the 4-1 winner. Struck out 8 of the first 9 Cubs he faced. You remember the ground ball to second by Ben Zobrist. So he allowed 1 run on 2 hits, struck out 11 Cubs in his 96 pitch gem.
John Jay has struck out a lot this year for a leadoff guy who's productive. He's hitting .298, but he has struck out 61 times. Well, he hit the ball hard almost every time up last night after taking Thursday night off. 3 for 5, an RBI hit, 2 doubles, 2 runs, and he appeared to lay off, and I am wrong, and I'm glad I am. Carlos Torres rings him up for strike 2. Did he go?
Not really. Max will take it.
1-2 pitch. Did he go on that?
Carlos Torres thought he had the night off. He's umpiring third base, and all of a sudden he's making all the strike and ball calls down there.
Two pitch with nobody out.
John Jay's Hurricanes are down 5-1 in the College World Series right now to Arizona.
Oh, so they're John Jay's Hurricanes.
They're mine when they're ahead, baby.
You're with them, win or tie.
Yep.
2-2 pitch, and Jay fouls another. Doubles leaders. Murphy a little further down that list. He's one of the guys with 19. And Jay, a chopper, hit his foot. So he's hanging in there, costing Max some pitches here early.
Here's the defense for the Nats behind Max tonight. Revere, Taylor, Harper, your outfield. Espinoza, Drew left side. Murphy, Zimmerman right side. Wilson, Ramos behind the plate. Nats supporting their Saturday Reds tonight. Love the red jerseys. Blue ones are better, but the red ones are sweet.
2-2 pitch again. That one right off the end of the barrel. John Jay is 0 for 3 career against Max. He's 5th in the league with 79 base hits. Murphy just collected his 91st, by the way. And a ball driven to left. It'll move Revere back onto the track. And Ben will make that catch about 3 or 4 feet in front of that 5-foot wall out there. Cozy corner down the line here.
Pretty good at bat by John Jay. And you're wondering, is this similar to Bryce Harper's home run the other night that was high to left field and seemed to carry out of here? Ben Revere tracking, put his arm out to see if the fence was approaching. That lady thought she might get a ball, but just fell short.
So here's Will Myers. 3 for 8, a homer, 2 RBIs in the series, couple of walks. And as mentioned, having a great June that has his batting average over 280. He's 2 for 3 career against Max Scherzer. He jacks that one to right. Harper going back, and this game is tied. Will Myers, 16th of the year. So now of his 3 hits against Scherzer, 2 are home runs.
Pretty swing right here by Will Myers. Let's see where the location of the pitch is. Right where they wanted it, 94 miles an hour, and Myers just backs the ball up. What's that mean? He lets it get deep. And a lot like Daniel Murphy, hits it off his back leg. Driven to right field to tie the game at 1.
Here's Kemp. And 102. That's pretty good going the other way.
That is. A strong man hit that ball.
Kemp, a strong man, takes a slider. And the count's even 1-1.
I was watching Max's warm-ups. Jose Lobaton came out because Wilson Ramos was on deck. And he was pulling the fastball across. Every single warm-up pitch was that one where he kind of yanks across.
It's a foul tip on a backup breaking ball.
And he was going to the backhand to catch every Scherzer fastball. So Max usually lets us know what kind of night it's going to be, if he's going to have to fight or he's got his A stuff real early.
Kemp, a good rip. We'll give you Kemp's career numbers against Scherzer after this at bat, but we will throw in that there are 7 strikeouts and just 1 walk. So Max Scherzer's now given up 18 homers, tied for most in the big leagues. Seldom is anybody on base, though. 2-2. There it is. That's the changeup, actually, that he held on too long.
Delivery kind of out of sync when that happens. He starts to rush out there, and when you try to catch up with your arm, inevitably it goes down and away to righties and down and into lefties.
Fastball up and a high pop up to the left side. Nats were in the shift, and that's Danny Espinosa. Took a while to come down. 2 outs. Now Matt Kemp, career against Scherzer, 1 for 25. Brett Wallace is the cleanup man tonight.
Look at that flag on that building, Carp, across the way there, and it's whipping. And you saw Danny Espinosa doing the pop-up dance right there. And I wonder, as you look at it kind of blowing in from left center, if you pan back, that's blowing in. I wonder if that knocked down John Jay's ball a little bit. It's blowing kind of across, but at times right toward home plate.
Yeah, and that's, let's say, what, 15 stories up? The flag's beyond center field by the batter's eye, not doing much, but there's some wind up there that we cannot see.
Well, you like to look at the flags on the buildings because when a ball goes up and out of the stadium, that's your read. Sometimes they'll fool you down in the bowl.
0-1. Wallace hitting .206. First career at bat against Max Scherzer in the series. 0 for 1.
And it was a weird day here. It started out real warm, then got cool and windy. And there was this thing, this phenomenon they're not used to here in San Diego. There was clouds in the sky. A severe cloud warning. Everybody headed for the cellar. They didn't know what to do.
Yeah. That ball's ripped right through the shift. Espinosa to his left. And now 2 for 4 are the Padres in the first inning.
Yeah, Wallace with a nice swing right here, just kind of stays on the off speed. Infield playing quick, barrel to the baseball. Good swing.
Each team with a couple of base runners and a run in the first inning. Here's Melvin Upton Jr. Couple of steals, an RBI, 3 hits in the first 2 games. That ball out to right. Harper watching it, and it just stays in. Padres doing some teeing off in the first inning. Max glad that inning is over. Now our freight rail work's due up, and it's all about Wilson Ramos. Top of the second coming up. 3 hits, a homer in this series, hitting .337. Greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Tim Lincecum, now an Angel. He gets the win in his first start with the Halos today. A run on 4 hits in 6 innings. Welcome back to the big league, Zach Greinke. He's not very welcome to hitters right now. He's won 7 straight Now he has 10 wins after a bit of a slow start with the D-backs. James Shields is getting racked. It happened to him here in San Diego, in Chicago when he faced the Nats, and it hasn't gotten any better for him in the last week and a half to 2 weeks. 1-1 ball game. By the way, we mentioned the solo homers against Max Scherzer. He's now given up 18. That was the 11th that had nobody on base. So you can do okay if you got Max's makeup and his stuff, as long as you don't walk people in front of those. So here's Wilson Ramos, who has a walk in the series. 3 for 8, a homer, and that's way upstairs. Every day he keeps appearing in more categories. Yesterday it was slugging and batting average. Today it's .349 against right-handed pitching, 3rd best in the league, and .382. And hopefully this will come into play later with runners in scoring position, 5th best.
Had about 5 balls on the beach in right center today. I was talking to him while he was hitting around the cage, and he said, "I'm going that way tonight, crushing the ball to right center." I said, "All right,
like it.
Whatever you say, I believe it."
Base hit to left center last night, homer to right field the night before.
See, he swings at that if he's not thinking right center.
So Ramos at .337, on base percentage .385, a potent Drew bat right behind him. And a chopper that hits near the plate and goes right to the pitcher for the first out, 2nd inning.
Herbert Hoover bobblehead. The White House Association, Historical Association, brings us our 3rd bobblehead of 2016, Sunday, July 3rd, 1:35 against the Reds. The first 25,000. You get Herbert Hoover walking really fast in a bobblehead on the right. Go to nationals.com/promotions for more details. Got the picker ready to go. I like it.
Nice. Stephen Drew 1 for 3 with an RBI Thursday night. He was batting 7th like he is tonight. Sac fly first time up, a double 2 at bats later, and then a screaming line drive that Will Myers grabbed to take another extra base hit away. Change up, a beauty. 1-1. So Drew 423 over his last 26 at bats. 4 homers, 9 RBIs in 12 games. And this ball tailing over toward the seats. It is not reachable for Melvin Upton Jr.
I mean, you're seeing guys get a lot of days off on the West Coast trip, or at least even through the first half of the season, because when you're hot like Stephen Drew, it's easy for Dusty Baker to give somebody the day off. There's no like, should I put him in there? Do I want? No. Stephen Drew is making guys have days off right now because he's swinging so well.
Strike call. 93 to the inside edge. 2 outs, his 2nd K. Nissan will track.
He's got the good swing back fastball going so far. He threw one to Ben Revere that was a little bit high. He threw one to Bryce Harper before he lined out to center, and that one gets Stephen Drew looking.
Chuck Jones and Bryce. Harper hit the ball right on the button first time. Having a good series, 4 for 9, on base 5 times. Espinosa shows bunt, gets out of there as a curveball drops in. Danny, a base hit, a walk, 1 for 7 in the series. but still hitting .344 his last 9 games.
I think they hit him.
Yeah. Down to first base goes Danny Espinosa, and he's hit now for the 10th time this year.
If he plays for the Nationals his whole career, Ron Hunt's franchise record is in jeopardy. I think it's 214 hit by pitches, and Danny's at like 65 or 66 now.
So here's Max. Well, that's big for the Nats. Turns over the lineup. Scherzer 5 for 30 with 3 RBIs this year. That's right in there with 93.
Ray's got good stuff early in this game. Talked about going 2 2/3 last start against the Marlins, giving up 8 runs. I'm not seeing that so far.
Yeah, sometimes a guy's most dangerous coming off a game like that because you know hard work has been done to correct something that was not right. So he hits Espinosa but strikes out Drew and Scherzer. And after an inning and a half, game 3 in San Diego, all tied up.
Scherzer's last start ended after just 7 innings, despite the fact that Scherzer was dominating the Cubs and had thrown just 96 pitches. And that decision to take Max out was obviously Dusty Baker's and Mike Maddox's, but they had consulted with Scherzer, who had told the two of them that his absolute maximum that night would be 110. And Max told me yesterday that there are a lot of factors that go into him determining how deep he can work into a game. First off, that day, he could tell he was nearing the end based on how he felt. He also knew if the 8th inning got to Dexter Fowler, it'd be his 4th time through the order facing the Cubs, and that those outs are tougher to get. Max also knew that he'd be on normal rest entering this start, so he wouldn't have the benefit of an extra off day to recover to face the Padres. Scherzer's very self-aware. He takes a lot of information into account when giving Dusty and Maddox an idea of how much he can give them, and that's all went into determining when to take Max out of that start, guys.
Yeah, Ben Zobrist, his last hitter after a Rizzo double in the 7th. And then Perez and Kelly took care of the last 2 innings in a 4-1 win. So here's Brad Schimpf, the second baseman, 2 for 12 as a big leaguer. He gets jammed. So our Coons.com sideline report from Dan, brought to you by our friends at Coons. Over 2 million vehicles sold and counting.
But that was a maximum effort game for Max Scherzer last start. It was the Cubs. He had payback on his mind. He struck out 8 of the first 9 guys he faced in that game. So there was a lot of energy spent both physically and mentally against the Cubs last start. So you were wondering how he'd rebound here tonight. I mean, basically, he let it all hang out against them like it was Game 7 of the World Series. But that's great stuff by Dan to show you how prepared he is, even down to the pitch count.
Swing and a miss, and there's the first of the night on a 95 heater. So let's go back 5 days ago.
I remember at Wrigley Field, he went 5 innings, gave up 7 runs to the Cubs. So kind of alluded to it after the game that this was a little bit personal. Best record in baseball, you got me once, I'm going to get you this time, and Max Scherzer did that. Secondary pitches were fantastic off his fastball that he threw 58% of the time.
There's Derek Norris, and there's a heater that looks good. Target in from Ramos. Max buries it in there off the plate, and the count's even.
And Max is a thinker too, not Drew Storm style thinker, but he's right up there. When you talk to him about what he's working on between starts and he talks to you about it, you're sitting there scratching your head going, okay. I mean, it's all good stuff, Carp, but sometimes you're just, you're thinking, wow, you're that detailed? That's amazing.
Well, he's the Daniel Murphy of pitchers.
He is. Good call.
Hitter gave up on that ball, thinking up and in, and it came back to get enough of the zone. Derek Norris hitting .327 this month. Shows you how he was struggling. Even with that, he's still hitting .215. High fastball. This ball, another one a mile high on the infield. Here comes Zimmerman. 2 outs. All right, Hokies and Wahoos, Wednesday the 29th, your second annual College Rivalry Day. Purchase a special ticket, enjoy pregame activities, talk a little smack, get a reusable Nationals acrylic cup in your favorite colors. And there they are. Cheer on the Nats to take on the Mets, and visit nationals.com/college rivalry day to make it all happen. Number 8 hitter ALEXEI RAMIREZ, the shortstop.
Do we have to go to Los Angeles after the game tomorrow? Can we just stay here and play every single game on the road at Petco?
The answer is no, no, and no. And a lot of people are saying, why wouldn't you want to go to Los Angeles? But this place is so ideal.
Because San Diego's way better.
Ramirez got a hanger, but he was way out ahead of it. Tough play, buddy. Stayed with it.
Nice play.
All right, you're famous. Give it to a kid now. ALEXEI RAMIREZ has faced Max Scherzer 63 times. 5 walks.
All right.
8 for 58, and now the night's perfect.
She had to pry that thing out of his hands.
Adults turn into kids when they get to the ballpark, and they can be a little selfish. 1-2, pitcher on deck. That's a great take by Ramirez on a pretty good 1-2 changeup.
She's got it.
Wide-eyed, and she's got a baseball.
That look she has is how I've felt the last 2 nights.
Dazed.
Dazed.
Ramirez in the series, 1 for 3 with a walk. Sat out Thursday night, back in there last night. And Max Scherzer is going to jam him severely and get the easy ground ball. So that makes the pitcher lead off next inning. Revere's ahead for the Nats. Souvenir night in San Diego.
Old one. Look forward to Miller time later in the ball game. That's brought to you by Miller Lite.
So 1-1-0 Nats, 1-2-0 Padres. They only hit Murphy. So the Nationals, first time through the batting order, go 1 for 7 with the Taylor walk. Espinosa hit by a pitch 10 times this year. And here's Ben Revere with Taylor and Harper to follow. Revere victimized by, quite frankly, a bad call. First time up. Fastball up, way out of his zone on an 0-2 pitch. That went in there from Colin Ray. So he wants Ben to hit the ball in the air. First 2 innings for the 25-year-old right-hander, 27 pitches, 19 strikes. Taylor a walk, a steal, a run on deck. And Revere a bouncer. Easy play for Ryan Schimpf, the rookie. 1 out.
How about some Geico highlights, boys? Here we go. Michael A. Taylor, Mikey T as he's called by his teammates. 3-2 pitch, ball 4, steals second base. And then that guy, that Wade Boggs looking dude, gets a hit, and that scores Michael Taylor, and that's the only run of the game for the Nats so far. Some high fives back in the dugout. Nicely done, Michael Taylor.
Yeah, even though batting second, going leadoff mode with 1 out. Two runs in the series now for Michael. And suddenly he's the 6th leading base stealer in the National League.
They are
9.
Figuring it out down there. Usually don't see Max in the dugout between innings. He's usually down underneath, but he and Mike Maddox are really going over mechanics. He's talking about his arm slot, his release point being more on line, maybe casting his arm out a little wide and staying more right on the target with his arm. That was good stuff, guys.
Taylor can't reach it on 0-2 up. Strikeout number 4 for Colin Ray. Yeah, Max turned around. Now there are 2 outs already. He's about to go back to work unless Bryce and Murphy can get something going.
They've been talking since he got in the dugout. Grinding. Trying to solve the puzzle. And he looked much better last inning. Stay through it, out front, release point. Okay, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's do this. I got to go down the tunnel real quick.
This time last night with 2 outs and the bases empty, 3rd inning, the Nationals mounted a 4-hit, 4-run rally. When Worth got it going, Harper gets jammed. This one into center, and a hit taken away by John Jay. That guy's playing some of the best baseball of his career right now. Burlington Northern, Santa Fe.
Ah.
Now that looks like it should be a freight railworks do-up. But the train yard right up the water here from San Diego. You're looking straight downtown there. Ballpark on the near side. And now you've got time to fill out your 2016 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot. Nationals.com on your computer, tablet, or smartphone. Vote up to 35 times. Vote today, tomorrow, Monday. Nationals.com/vote. So let's see what adjustments Max Scherzer makes here. Colin Ray, the pitcher, up first. He's 3 for 23 this year. That was some daring camera work right there with an on-rushing locomotive. I would run through a wall for our producer and our crew, but I'm not getting near a freight train. 2-1. Good location to the outer half. All right, takes care of business against the opposing hurler. Now to the top of the order.
Time for Toyota K's for Kids. Washington area Toyota dealers want to help children and their families by making a donation of $37 to the children in an NIH for every strikeout by a Nats pitcher this season. $37 right there.
2 by Scherzer tonight. The Nats have struck out 657 batters. Scherzer broke a deadlock tonight with his first strikeout. He was tied with a teammate, Steven Strasburg, with 118, as well as Jose Fernandez of Miami. Almost 10 strikeouts per 9 innings. Nobody active at a more frequent rate than Max Scherzer. John Jay fly ball to left after a good battle first time up. Got that guard on top of his front foot, held together by Velcro between the spikes there. And a 1-2 is close. Counts even. Swing and a miss on a hard slider. It appeared, down and in. Now Max has the strikeout thing going. 3 of the last 5. Mercedes-Benz will track it.
You know, whenever he and Mike Maddox is talking about, and I think it was as simple as arm angle and staying on line, and this will give you a good look at the slider to John Jay for strike 3. If he was showing Mike what I think he was showing about his arm getting away from his body, it's almost like a long swing. What do hitters do with a long swing? They hook the ball. They come around the ball. They hit ground balls to third.
That ball's on the inner half, and Ben Revere makes the leap, but it's over his head. And Will Myers has 6 total bases already, and he almost had another home run. Boy, this park is playing as small as we've ever seen it.
Yeah. No marine layer to speak of. You see the location mistake? The fastball was supposed to be away. It ran back in. And I think Will Myers was thinking in, right? He had an opposite field home run his first time up, so he's thinking they're going to come in. He got it. Ben Revere with a pretty good effort, but a 2-out double for Will Myers.
First base open, Matt Kemp the hitter. So Myers continues his torrid month of June. He's up around 360 now.
Oh, Matt Kemp's going to get the extra fastball here from Max. It should be 95 or 97. Fastball in first pitch. See if they go slide our way here. 0-1.
Left-handed hitting Brett Wallace on deck. Great slider. No chance for the hitter. So lowest career batting average against Max. Kemp now 1 for 25 after his pop up to short. Lorenzo Cain never did get a hit against him. And those are some pretty good hitters on that list. Brought to you by Jeep. Inside some numbers. Matt Kemp hit his 15th homer of the year right before the Nats got to town. He didn't hit his 15th last year until the 3rd week of August. One and two with 2 outs. Time given. Max able to shut it down.
Yeah, that wasn't. I mean, if it was later, it would have been worse. And I think Max almost anticipates that from time to time. You almost have to, the way he holds the ball.
Challenge fastball, tailing in on the right-hander.
Max holding the baseball out of the stretch is his version of Johnny Cueto. You know, Cueto will do a abbreviated windup and then speed up or turn his back. He's just trying to disrupt timing with the hitter. More than the base runner, obviously, with the runner on second and 2 outs.
And a 1-2 that Kemp stays alive. Invoking the famous words of Warren Spahn that hitting is timing and pitching is disrupting that timing.
They got the slider down the way if he executes it, I feel like.
Runner at second base with 2 outs. Another 1 and 2. And Matt Kemp, guy who swings big, a lot of power, staying alive here. In the series, he's 3 for 8, 2 RBIs, 2 walks. 11 o'clock at home, and we wish you were here. Beautiful Petco Park.
Some of you.
One-two pitch again. That was the first pitch he threw when it went to 0-2. And now the count's even. Max, first inning, 24 pitches. Thanks to John Jay. 39 after 2.
See if they bury that fastball in, then 3-2 slider away if it gets that far.
He's in the high 50s on his pitch count here. There's a great slider. Into the mid of Ramos it goes. So 3 Ks in the inning around the Will Myers double. Murphy, Zimmerman, Ramos coming up. Beautiful sunset in San Diego and a really good ball game so far.
With the Nationals' recent home run barrage, we've seen a lot of two-handed high fives in the Nats dugout recently, punctuated by Daniel Murphy yelling "Foi." And I asked Murphy about that today. It turns out that it is indeed "foi" with an F on the front of it, as FP said last night. Daniel told me it's something that he stole actually from Lucas Duda, his former teammate in New York. Duda would say it anytime someone hit a ball hard. There's no real significance to the noise itself and no real rules on when it's said. We've mostly heard it on home runs. Just something that Murphy enjoys, and his teammates have really embraced it. So guys, send me the Pulitzer now, because there's my hard-hitting report of the day.
Love it. That's a good noise.
Yeah. Well, we aren't cable, so maybe it's an ACE award.
I love it.
You'd have to write it out, Dan, to be a Pulitzer, by the way. But well done. Coons.com sideline report, over 2 million vehicles sold and counting. Murphy gashes one to the right side, and Will Myers picks it off.
Well, let's go back to last night and check out his 12th tater of the year. I mean, it's kind of like in karate, right? When they go hi-ya, the foi thing. It's just a noise that, for Daniel Murphy, symbolizes a home run.
So, yeah, 19 hits recently, 11 extra bases, bunch of doubles, bunch of home runs. That ball tailing into the inside edge on Ryan Zimmerman.
Well, I think, you know how you rip the pages after the open every night? That you need to just start going foi instead of that. Just mix it up a little bit. You can look at me and go two-hand foi when you nail it after our 7th take.
I don't know. If I do that, he goes 0 for 12. We're all in trouble.
Nobody will know, Bob. Be our little secret.
Yeah. I've seen you keep a lot of secrets. There's a good tailing fastball back in there against Zimmerman. Ryan hit a ball off the pitcher that redirected to the shortstop first time.
Stephen Drew's got in on the foi act when he goes deep. I love that. He does the Daniel Murphy face. It's good stuff.
That's right over the plate. Little cutting action there at the end. So Ray ran one back in on Ryan from the outside, and this one cut, and Nissan will track it.
I think Ryan thought that was going to keep traveling on the inner half, and it kind of hit the brakes, went back over the plate. He might have thought it was a little bit low.
So Colin Ray, his 19th big league start, dealing pretty well here. Nats only have one hit, but it's the second time around. He's retired the first 5 guys second time, and he has Ramos reaching for that.
Ooh. I mean, the stuff is sharp, whatever he's throwing. The cutter right there, same pitch he struck out Ryan Zimmerman on. The run back fastball to lefties that he's throwing at their front hip. Curveball early in the count to steal a strike. He's been impressive so far.
Norris wanted that ball in. It ran out over the plate. And now Ramos on a 0-2 pitch. Chops it third base way. On his way in, Brett Wallace. Low throw. And Will Myers is putting on a show here tonight. 9-pitch inning for Colin Ray. Myers makes 2 good defensive plays. It's 1-1. Fourth inning of Nationals baseball is brought to you by the RAV4 Hybrid, all-wheel drive, and unexpected performance. Visit buyatoyota.com. This weekend, the historic heart of San Diego, the Gas Lamp Quarter.
Driving way too fast. Slow down. It's fedora night here at the ballpark. That's the giveaway.
Yeah, some cool fedoras.
They're very cool, and they're well made. You were thinking, you know, get one of those straw hats that falls apart by the 7th inning. They're nice. There they are.
Padres have kind of adopted the gold back into their colors this year with the All-Star game coming. Here's Brett Wallace. Base hit through the shift first time between Espinosa and Murphy, playing in the same positions they were, with 2 outs back in the first. Max Scherzer's 60th pitch already here in the 4th inning. Great changeup. Had retired 6 straight before the Myers 2-out double last inning. And Brian Knight called it where the ball was, not where the catcher was set up. It was over the plate. Trying to blow him away, and Brett Wallace able to fight it off.
See the wheels turning. He wanted that pitch away. He threw it on the inner half, and you know, when you see Max for a year and a half now, you kind of get the body language that he's still trying to figure out that fastball tonight. That last changeup was his best one of the night.
'15th start of the year. Coming in, he was 6th in opponent's batting average, only .203. 3rd in innings, 2nd in strikeouts. There's the fastball to blow away the lefty. And now Max Scherzer has fanned 4 of the last 5 Padres and 5 on the night. Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah, just a challenge fastball. Ramos wants it away. Max puts it right where Wilson wanted, at 95 miles an hour. Red sky at night.
Peter's delight?
Not tonight.
Sailor's delight, not against these guys the way they're dealing. Up and away. Upton back up. Bryce Harper to the right field wall, first time. Padres have been within a couple of feet twice of having 3 home runs tonight. Myers went opposite field. Long fly ball by Upton later in the inning. And then Myers off the left field wall last time for their skipper. In his first year here, Andy Green. Parts of 4 years as a player with the Diamondbacks and the Mets. He managed 4 years in the Padres organization at rookie and AA ball.
He paid his dues.
2-1 pitch. Upton couldn't get to it. Swing and a miss on a slider, and the strikeouts are now coming consecutively.
Starting to get that rhythm, starting to lock in. Fastball command. And then the slider hanging a left against Melvin Upton Jr.
I would imagine that about 10 feet to the left of us, Dick Enberg and Mark Grant might be uttering the phrase, "We didn't get him early." They did get 1 run, but Max Scherzer now has turned his night around.
I think Dick Enberg said, "Oh my," on that slider.
He might have. And then there's the first pitch changeup to Brad Schimpf. Dick Enberg received the Ford Frick Award year before last for baseball broadcasting excellence. It's his last year as a Padres announcer. We wish Dick all the best. Fantastic career.
Well, it's a good broadcaster trip. Dick Enberg, Vin Scully, and then
Mr. Euchre.
Mr. Euchre in Milwaukee.
How about those three?
And then, of course, you, Bob.
Did the truck tell you to add that?
Yeah, they did. But I mean it.
Thank you. And then a good friend of ours from the American League, Don Orsillo, let go by the Red Sox in a disastrous public relations situation last year, has landed on his feet in San Diego, and he's their TV voice of the future. He's on radio tonight next door, and good for Don. Great guy. Didn't deserve what happened to him.
Good for Max.
And how about another inning striking out all the guys he retired? So suddenly, 1 strikeout through 2, and now 7 strikeouts through 4, and enjoy all 3. And be glad you're not hitting.
June 27th, Jason Worth and his dog Magnus will be featured in a bobblehead. Mets will be there too, 7:05 start. First 20,000 fans get that. 1 clobbers, 1 slobbers, both can be yours on June 27th. For tickets, visit nationals.com. That is not Jason Worth on the left. Although he told me last night, remember he showed him interacting with the fans. He turned to those kids that were good for a couple of hits when they were grabbing his bat. His last at bat, they weren't there. He said, talked to him today. He said, where'd they go? And then he struck out.
I mean, the night of a lifetime for some kids. They didn't stay.
There's no way I'm leaving a game if a major league player is letting me interact with him like Jason did last night.
Drew, Espinosa, Scherzer, top of the 5th inning. Here's Stephen Drew, struck out looking first time. First pitch changeup upstairs.
You thought last night with Friedrich, second time through, they'd figure him out. But Ray is throwing all 4 for strikes in any count. This might be a little tougher puzzle to solve for the Nats. Not that it's impossible, just a little bit tougher.
So he's missed on the catcher's glove side 3 in a row. He's retired 7 straight and 10 of the last 11 Nationals since the Murphy RBI hit. So Drew will make him throw at least 2 strikes. Count is full.
You're looking for the straight one. He front hipped him with that run back sinker.
And Drew right over the shift. So Stephen Drew 2 for 5 in this series. A rare single for him, by the way. 9 of his 18 hits, extra bases this year. And the Nats have their leadoff man aboard for the very first time tonight.
Well, look how hot Stephen Drew is. I mean, the only place he could have put this ball, he did. So a nice at bat. Look at the shift is there. There's one spot for it to drop over where Schimpf was playing short right field. Nice at bat by Stephen Drew. I feel like I've been saying that a lot lately.
You have. Here's Danny Espinosa hit by a pitch first time. That ball ripped foul between Davey Lopes and the bag. Mets were up 3-0 early. The Braves came back to beat them. So they drop one 4-3 tonight, and the Nationals with a win could lead by 7. Pitcher on deck. Target in. And that pitch ended up on the other side of the plate. Now it's 0-2. Dusty's team 3 in a row, 7 of 8, 14 of 18. Target in on 0-2.
Dusty's got the America sweatbands going tonight.
And tonight, Anthony Rendon and Jason Worth have the night off. Rendon 4 for 9 in this series. Actually, Worth 4 for 9. Rendon a homer, 2 RBIs. Back to the bag, Stephen Drew. Espinosa fights one off, and that's a double play. Stephen Drew nowhere to go.
That's a big league hang with him right there. Good at bat by Espinosa. He fought off that front hip sinker. And Stephen Drew really can't do a whole lot. Even if he goes back on that, he's still out. Seriously?
Padres turned their 67th double play. Max taking strike 1. And that takes care of Scherzer and the Nats. So through 5 innings, a double play for Ray and 6 strikeouts.
summary, visit Mercedes-Benz of Arlington to check out the 2016 CLA 250 lease at $299 a month. Good one here if you like pitchers duels. Ray and Scherzer going toe-to-toe. And Max, after being a little bit wobbly in the first, has figured it out, settling in, getting his rhythm, release point, and command on point. His last 6 outs have been via the strikeout. And how about Colin Ray? I had no idea about this guy before the game. Watched some video of him, but what he did last time out against the Marlins is the exact opposite of what he's doing here tonight. He has been really, really good.
Yeah, he and Darren Balsley, the Padre pitching coach, figures something out big. So there's the competing line scores for both pitchers. Very similar. So it's 7-8-9 for the Padres. Derek Norris, ALEXEI Ramirez, and Colin Ray, bottom 5.
I just feel like if you go 2 2/3 in a start, you should be strong your next start.
Physically, and
yeah, good point.
guess he got over the being. I mean, you get a bit rattled by that.
Yep.
Here he is tonight against one of the hottest offenses in baseball, getting it done. So Max now 4 strikeouts in a row. 6 of the last 7 hitters struck out. It was a good fastball. Norris late for it. Inside the numbers with PNC. So by opponent, strikeouts per 9 innings. A lot of time in the American League, facing Oakland a number of times, but then against the Cubs, the Pirates, the Pods, and the Mets. And obviously, he's only faced the Tigers once. So that's a pretty good ratio. 1 start, 20 Ks.
That's pretty good.
How to play again. Nice crowd tonight. They had 31,000 last night, 22 on Thursday. Probably upwards of 35,000 here tonight. Ballpark holds just over 40. That's the fixed seating. Does not count the hundreds of fans out on the berm tonight.
Max Scherzer's 3 best games this year have all been because of added incentive. When he went home to St. Louis, he threw 7 shutout innings, struck out 9 Cardinals, walked nobody. When he faced his old ball club, he struck out 20. When he wanted revenge against the Cubs last start, he struck out 11. And I feel like the games when he has that extra little motivation, so to speak, to turn it up a higher notch, which he couldn't do every starter. He never make it to the finish line. That's when he's extra special, and that's why you want to see him pitch in October.
So can we send him a message that somebody from the Padres said something bad about him?
No, you can't create it.
I know. It's a good call. There's a changeup. Strikeout number 8.
And whatever Mike Maddox told Max Scherzer, and I wish I could have heard that discussion and been a fly on the wall, only guessing what they talked about, he has been absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. He doesn't need our help or anybody else's right now. Mercedes-Benz tracking strikeout number 8, 5 in a row, and 7 of the last 8 batters struck out. Will Myers, the only guy making contact.
Guy on the right's a really good pitching coach, FYI.
I'm telling you.
Really good.
You know, new Mike here and there from his days as a pitcher and then as a pitching coach in Texas. And the impact he's had on this ball club has been amazing.
But for a coach to do what he did with Max between innings, Carp, that's Mike Maddox's shutout. That's his no-hitter. That's the reward of getting here at noon for a 7 o'clock start. When you just have that one little conversation with your starter and he's a little bit off and it clicks, that's why he does what he does. That's the reward.
95 low in the zone against ALEXEI Ramirez, who hit a comebacker last time. going the other way, and it's out of play. That's going to play for Taylor. So Scherzer banging the fastball in there. Decent contact by Ramirez. So our next 5 will take us through the finale here tomorrow when Gio Gonzalez goes against Drew Pomeranz, 4:30. Then at the Dodgers, 10 o'clock Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll fly the red eye to Milwaukee. Take a breather on Thursday, and then 3 with the Brew Crew before the Nats come home. So we are 3 games in to a 10-game, 11-day road trip. Colin Ray struck out swinging first time.
There's 2 things you can do on Milwaukee on that off day. Eat cheese and drink beer. That's it. Man, that's all you can do.
A little sleep wouldn't hurt.
No, just, I mean, if you're going to do anything, that's it. It's your only 2 choices there.
Okay. Wow. 9 Ks. And he had 1 in the first 2 innings. Scherzer, dominant. Here comes the top of the order. Tie game. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the Washington Nationals. Hustling, bustling Saturday night in San Diego, this one to the 6th. When you have insight, you know how to handle your finances with confidence. Brought to you by PNC Bank. For the achiever in you, Matt Skoll will be 27 years of age July 30th. He's out of Georgia Tech. Always been a good stick, and right now he's 5th in the International League, getting a big-time job done for the Syracuse Chiefs. OPS good. 9 homers, approaching 40 RBIs. Matt Skoll, a Nats 5th rounder in 2009. 6th year in the minor leagues. He's paying his dues. So here's Ben Revere, top of the 6th. 3rd time around for the Nats, and they've mustered only 2 hits tonight, 2 singles. A couple of innings ago, Murphy hit a ball hard. Espinosa lined into a double play. Tough luck last inning.
See if he has the arsenal to go 3 times through this Nats order on fire. That would be impressive. I'm already impressed with Colin Ray, but that would really be impressive.
You got Revere to roll over a grounder to second base last time up. Up the middle. Pitcher got a piece of it. That's a hit. So Ben Revere is 1 for 3 tonight, and his first hit of this series.
There's guys that can cut through a big league lineup one time, which, hey, you should be able to. There's guys that can do it 2 times, and those are some of the better pitchers. And the guys that can do it 3 and 4 times, those are your special pitchers, the Kershaws, the Scherzers, the Strasburgs. So we'll see if Colin Ray, well, A, stays in this game, but B, can go through this lineup 3 times. And if he does, it's definitely something to hang your fedora on.
Well said. So you've just seen the 3rd hit of the night. The previous one, a leadoff clean single by Drew last inning. And then the Daniel Murphy 2-out RBI single up the middle. First inning after Taylor had walked and stolen second.
So this is a trip now. The first thing was for an injury. This is an official trip.
Darren Balsley is their pitching coach. Colin Ray this year, he went 7 in his second start. April 13th at Phillies. Had a couple of longer outings. Dodgers, April 30th, 6 innings. 8 innings here against the Mets in a 3-1 win May 5th. Thank you very much. And then 7 2 times ago against Atlanta, until that hammering FP told you about at the hands of the Marlins last time out. So he's in his 6th inning, and Michael A. Taylor, you can see why he's an early count hacker here. It's a great number. Ben Revere's, up until what, a week ago, he was 2 out of 5. Now he's 6 out of 9 stealing bases. The Nats have stolen 37 now. They're getting into the middle of the league in steals as a team. Not a huge lead.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Marlins hitting coach picked up something on Ray, and that maybe had something to do with his last start. He's pretty good at that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, Bonds,
yeah,
who's been known to figure out a pitcher or 100. Taylor takes a fastball that runs back for a strike. In the series, Michael has collected a hit, stolen 2 bases, and scored 2 runs. Left-hander Brad Hand is busy. Runner on the move, breaking ball low and away, and another high throw by Derek Norris. And that's number 7 for Revere. And now the Nats are starting to become a running ball club as well as a blasting ball club.
Boy, Ben Revere's so fat. Not the greatest jump ever. Look how late he left and he still ripped the bag. I mean, makeup speed. I mean, Ray's leg was way high in the air, and Revere hadn't even started yet. And look how easily he steals the base because he's fast.
Taylor got jammed with that pitch, so it doesn't have any carry on it. So the Nats were looking for something to advance Revere. And now with 1 out, it'll be up to Harper or Murphy to get him home.
Pitch to Bryce right here, because
pick your poison.
Hits is on deck. I think they do. I think they have to.
Bryce has only seen 2 pitches. Line drive to center and then a flare to center, on which John Jay rushed in and robbed him of a hit.
Even with Daniel Murphy hitting behind Bryce Harper, as good as he's been this year, when Bryce was locked in, there's no way he's hitting right now.
Yeah.
You're gonna, if you're Andy Green, you're making Daniel Murphy beat you, not Bryce Harper, in a tie game in the 6th. But because Murphy has been so consistent and so good for so long, and Bryce has fallen off just a little bit, Bryce gets to hit right now.
Harper, 6 career home runs, 24 RBIs against San Diego. In this series, 4 for 10 with a base on balls and 4 driven in. Fastball up, and John Jay is there. Revere tagging, he'll go to third. 2 outs, and the lead run 90 feet away from Murphy.
Could have been a sac fly. Washington, D.C. Lexus dealers are donating $250 to the Children's National Health System for every home run a Nats player hits this year. So keep them coming. It's for a wonderful cause. Lexus, the pursuit of perfection. And now is Ryan Zimmerman going to get a hit?
Norris just now pulling his mask down over his helmet.
They can't be pitching to Murphy here. I mean, if they do, I'll first guess this. This is a mistake. I mean, it might work, but this is a mistake.
Target way outside, so they want Murphy to chase, it appears.
He chases.
And if you're going to do that, why not just walk him?
Didn't they do this the other night? Just set up 4 wide?
I think so.
Maybe this is the way they walk guys.
Well, they threw Murphy a borderline strike. He hits it a long way, but out. And the Nats will strand just their 3rd runner of the night. Middle of the 6th. Quite a battle.
Time for some key in the driver's seat. Max Scherzer, after having a little chat with his pitching coach about something mechanical, we saw kind of arm angle release point stuff going on in the dugout, has absolutely turned his night around from, hey, sometimes it takes the best ones an inning to lock in, to get into the rhythm. And for Max Scherzer, after the first tonight, you're seeing all the punch outs. He is punching some serious tickets here at Petco Park.
13 of the last 14 retired, including 7 straight. Since the Will Myers double, 3rd inning, he'll face Myers after John Jay here. Bottom 6. Pretty good looking fastball. Didn't get the call to the inside edge. Jay, fly ball to left, swinging strikeout. Myers had to duck that ball heading for him. A lot of these hitters so close to the batter, catcher, and umpire when they're supposedly on deck. The on deck circle is just a supply heap these days. And there's another foul.
Trying to get a sneak peek. The closer you get to the action, the more you can see the movement, the release point, all that stuff. So when you're on deck, you want to get an angle and get as close as you can to the action until they tell you to get back in the on deck circle.
Yeah, I understand that. I just hope it doesn't go badly someday. We've seen some close calls. So the Padres only have 3 hits tonight. The Myers opposite field homer in the first. His pulled double in the third. Brett Wallace had a 2-out single in the first before Upton hit a long fly ball caught by Bryce Harper. So since Myers' double, nothing doing.
John Jay has shown the last 2 nights when he gets the 2 strikes, he's swinging. You can really expand here if you're Max Scherzer.
You know, and that's what I've noticed about him, FP, as his numbers have gone up. He's striking out a lot more than he ever did before. Ooh. 2 borderline pitches in this AB. Nissan will track it.
Close. I think it was outside.
Pitch number 1 was called a ball. We're going to go in there again, but Max misses.
Yeah, that's how close Will Myers is. He's not the only one. There's a dead patch of grass right there. I think they're all standing there.
Jay, base hit. Taylor gets to it in a hurry to hold the speedy leadoff guy to a single. And the Padres have their first hit since the next batter was in there 3 innings ago.
Tell you what, if I'm a contending team and I need some help on the bench as the deadline approaches, John Jay would be on my radar screen.
Here's Will Myers, who's had 2 good at bats against Scherzer tonight and career against Max. He's now 4 for 5 with 2 homers, 2 RBIs. In the series, 5 for 10.
Third inning for one batter is the last time Max has been in the stretch.
So pitch number 100 coming.
He just started to go. Did you see that? He flinched and then they called timeout. Then he rolled his eyes like, seriously?
Great slider. .119, and I think you all know what night that was, the season high, when he threw 96 strikes and striking out 20 Tigers. Max has gone at least 5 starts in a row.
Both of Myers' hits have been on the Scherzer fastball.
2-2 with nobody out. Ramos sets up away. That one to the inside part, and it's 3-2. John Jay can run. He's only stolen 2 bases, though, in 2 attempts this year. Matt Kemp coming up.
Huge pitch coming in. If you're Andy Green, do you start John Jay? I don't know. Got a strikeout pitcher on the mound. It could be a double play. I wouldn't.
3-2. Runner started, then stopped. Now they might wish he went. Nats will get at least the lead runner. And it'll be Espinosa to Murphy on the 6-4.
So a big at bat. Will Myers, a guy that's doubled and homered tonight. You're thinking danger. But the way Max has been pitching, he figured it out. First strike slider, then he goes slider off the plate. Yanked a fastball at 95, and then a backup slider at 86, and then finally gets a tapper off the dirt in front of the plate. Not hard enough to turn a double play because Will Myers runs real well. How about that slide, though, looking at that replay? A little late and not right into the bag.
Yeah, it used to be as long as you could reach the bag. First pitch slider to Matt Kemp, who has popped up to short and struck out swinging.
Well, this would be the empty the tank moment for Max, you'd think, right? Part of the order, over 100 pitches.
Yeah, and you're dealing with a tough part of their lineup. One pitch, swing and a miss. I think Trusty, I said Trusty, meaning Dusty. I think he's okay with Scherzer no matter what happens. Go ahead and finish out this inning, and then we'll see what happens when the Nats come up in the 7th.
Trusty?
It's in Dusty, we Trusty.
I just like Trusty Dusty. That's way better than in Dusty we Trusty, because the Cubs already used that.
1-2.
He's not rusty.
No.
After taking a few years off, even though Bryce called him that in spring training, after he was Royce.
Personality, not crusty.
And if you're following all this on a Saturday night at 1 in the morning or whatever it is back home, you're doing better than us. What time is it?
It's not even midnight.
All right,
for another 7 minutes. We're good. Got him looking.
Perfect.
And Max Scherzer continues to be one of Matt Kemp's least favorite pitchers. He's now 1 for 27 against Max.
Look at the power and command. 95 on the black. Hang with him, Matt Kemp. Big out here in the 6th inning, and there you are. 10K games, active leaders. That's impressive.
So Brett Wallace now with 2 outs and a runner at first. First inning base hit, 4th inning swinging strikeout in Wallace's first 2 career plate appearances against Max. Shift is on.
I mean, wouldn't you think about going if you're Will Myers right here? He's got 8 stolen bases. He's been caught once. It's a 1-1 game in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, and they've just retired your big gun.
I mean, what do you have to lose at this point? You're 15 and a half out. It's not the worst gamble in the world.
Ramos on the year, 6 for 19, just under 33%.
Max is quick to the plate, granted. bigger lead.
2-0, it's right on the inside edge. Runners on the move, ball 3. Ramos, good throw. Safe. Danny Espinosa had to catch it and then go down with it. And now, Wil Myers is 9 for 10.
Well, good jump. He picked a good pitch to go on. Watch the jump. As soon as Max picks up his foot, Wil Myers steals it easily. And now you have to pick your poison here. Do you want Brett Wallace in a 3-1 count, or you go after Melvin Upton Jr. and the right-on-right matchup? Big stolen base for Wil Myers.
Wallace at chopper to fill the count.
Base hit was on a changeup first time up.
Scherzer gets a fly ball off the bat of Wallace. This will be close. In the corner. Ben Revere has it. Tiptoes around Stephen Drew. And that gets Max Scherzer through the 6th inning.
That was not an easy play, folks. Ben Revere had to go around a security guard, a corner, keeping his eye on the ball the whole time. The go-ahead run is on second base, and the at-bat ends. Nice play by Ben Revere, negotiating a pod squad girl to make the catch. '30th, 7:05 against the Reds. It's a ladies' night. You get the Nationals Infinity Scarf and all kinds of cool stuff going on before the game. 7:05 start. To purchase your special ticket, visit nationals.com/ladiesnight.
Max Scherzer, 113 pitches, 76 strikes. Bullpen getting busy. Zimmerman, Ramos, Drew. Here we go. Top of the 7th, getting late in San Diego. Front door breaking ball stays inside. Ryan a grind ball out, and a taken strike 3, and Jock Jones a hug for his left fielder.
It's a good play, man. That's not easy.
Those are two guys that love being at the ballpark, and they show it every minute.
He's saying there's a ball girl there. She picked up her chair. I had to go around her. Then there was this little thing, and then I caught the ball. Yeah, look, he's telling him.
Zimmerman a chopper, and it's strike one. 66 pitches in 6 innings for Colin Ray. Hard to believe that he's almost 50 pitches fewer than Max Scherzer. He has struck out 6, Max 10. But Max Scherzer had to work long and hard those first couple of innings, and then the strikeouts came.
Intangibles off the charts for the guy you're looking at tonight. Every night.
Absolutely.
What am I saying? I think he's lobbying to stay in this one.
Zimmerman, ball slowed down a bit by the pitcher's glove, maybe. Doesn't matter. More on Scherzer from Dan.
Bob, I talked earlier about Scherzer and how he views his workload going into each outing, and as that outing progresses, he told me yesterday that he was coming into today's start knowing that with an off day coming up before his next outing in Milwaukee, he'd be able to leave it all out there on the field tonight. That would be the Nationals' last off day before the All-Star break. So Max was targeting this as a start when he would try and go deep into this game and see that pitch count rise. So he probably is trying to lobby for more action here in this ball game.
He is. He absolutely is right now. He's frustrated, and Dusty Baker is telling him that's it. And Max Scherzer's saying, I got this. This is good stuff. We got to stay with this. I mean, talking to Mike Maddox, you talk to him, you tell him, I'm staying in this game. Don't you love that, though? I mean,
that's the guy you want on your ball.
Yeah, that's the guy I want pitching Game 7 for me.
2 ground ball outs for Wilson Ramos tonight. 2-0 count suddenly.
This is great stuff. I love seeing this.
Max's parents are here from Missouri tonight. They've been here for the series.
Intense, boy. Love it.
Look out. Look out. 2-0 screamer into the seats off the bat of Wilson Ramos. Drew to follow here in the top of the 7th. If Max comes out, this is the kind of ball game that will severely test the Nationals bullpen.
Boy, oh boy. Does he want to stay in the game or what? This makes me want to go play again. And I'll say this, based on experience, you got a Pedro Martinez, a Max Scherzer, Clayton Kirk. When they say they want to stay in, it's hard for a manager to tell them you're done. That's not easy for Dusty Baker.
Ramos rips one up the middle. So still hitting in the mid 340s against right-handed pitching this year. Maybe the Nats will go ahead and score a run or two here and make Max a little more relaxed, but we'll see.
Can't stop the Buffalo. He's going to get you sooner or later.
Next up is Stephen Drew. He has a base hit.
You guys know Max fought and battled tonight. They're going to try to get him a win right here. Of course, you know, get yourself a win as a ball club, but when you see a guy fight like Scherzer did tonight as a player, you'll hear everybody up in the dugout go, let's go, let's get a run right here. And it's not, let's get Max a win, but that's what's implied when guys are chirping on the bench when you see your guy pitch his heart out.
And I understand what Dusty's doing here. Even if they lose, the Nats have a 6-game lead in the East. It's the 18th of June. He wants Max full throttle September, October.
Yeah.
Matt Belisle.
That's why the manager gets paid the big bucks. It's his decision. And the good ones, they don't let you talk him into anything.
So Clint Robinson getting loose there. He could be a pinch hitting candidate. 2 spots away if this inning gets down to the number 9 spot.
You remember when Matt Williams went out there that one time and Max was emphatic about staying in the game?
Yeah, he won that battle.
Yeah, we couldn't show you the replay too many times because it was very emotional.
It was a little more than yeah, baby. Drew takes a close one, ball 2. Looked like Derek Norris popped up and thought they might have had a second out. Staying alive. That one bounced right off the rail into the Padre dugout. Still at just 80. Colin Ray went 110 pitches and no decision at Wrigley Field recently. And Drew takes ball 3. Raises his hand to tell Ramos to stay.
Well, you see Max folding his hat and say, come on, come on, come on. He wants a run right here. It'll be a lot easier to come out of this ball game if it's 2-1 or more.
Drew works the walk with a great at bat. 2 on, 1 out. Danny Espinosa is next. Boy, Stephen Drew is giving Dusty Baker fantastic ABs.
Professional hitter.
Second walk of the night for Colin Ray. He has hit Espinosa on the foot with a breaking ball. And then Danny lined into a tough luck unassisted double play at first base.
There we go. Decision time. Andy Green out to the mound, and is that it for Colin Ray? He's got double barrels in his bullpen.
So Brad Hand was up, still is, and here comes the right-hander. Taking the ball with 1 out, 7th inning, and the ball game on the line. The Nats are trying to win the series if they can make it 3 in a row tonight. Espinosa straight ahead. For the night after 113 pitches. Nats could change the scoreboard here. Brandon Maurer, 35th appearance, 33 innings, 40 strikeouts. He pitched a scoreless 8th inning here last night, retiring Ramos, striking out Rendon, and getting Danny Espinosa on a ground ball to the first baseman. So Danny gets another shot at it.
Pretty good fastball, 95, slider 84. Changeup 15% of the time at 85 miles an hour. Chris Heisey steps into the on-deck circle.
So Danny Espinosa 0 for 3 career against the right-hander. Ramos at second, Drew at first. First pitch low.
I mean, I agree with Dusty. I mean, you can't have your ace go 120, 120. I don't care if you have an extra off day. I mean, if he has a 20-15 pitch inning and it's 128, 130, yeah. How is he going to respond his next start, even with an off day?
Espinosa, fly ball right center. Matt Kemp, runners will hold, 2 outs. Now the Nats switch off, and it's going to be Anthony Rendon. Anthony Rendon, as mentioned, struck out looking by Mauer last night. First time he'd ever faced him. So Scherzer will go 6. 1 run on just 4 hits. 10 strikeouts. Very impressive, considering it was a contact game for 2 innings. Did not walk a batter. Not a frequent pinch hitter, but a good one. Low in the zone, counts even 1-1.
Two strikes, 2 outs. Wilson Ramos get a better jump at second now. But when you talk about Melvin Upton Jr. in left, Matt Kemp in right, both guys don't just throw well, they throw people out.
Yeah, Upton 7 assists. Got one here last night. Kemp has 6.
And it might take something in the gap to score Wilson here, unless it's right back up the middle.
That ball bounces in. Derek Norris a clean stop. One battle, 1-4 Nats, 1-4 Padres. Each team has stranded 3 runners. Top of the 7th. Rendon, right side, ball knocked down. That saves a run. Now the ball gets away. Here comes Ramos. The Nats take the lead, and everybody is safe on a crazy pinball play around the infield. Myers appeared to have saved a run and kept the Nats from scoring, and then some heck broke loose.
Max Scherzer is happy now, I'd say. Great at bat by Anthony Rendon. You love the move by Dusty Baker, firing his third baseman in there to pinch hit. Great stop by Myers, and the backhand flip isn't handled. And then that's when it got fun. Look at the Buffalo roaming around third base.
And the score says single RBI, no error on the play.
There's no error.
So Anthony Rendon gets Max Scherzer and the rest of the dugout excited. Now it's first and second, 2 outs for Ben Revere. Slider in there. So I think the scorer taking into consideration that even after Myers gloved that ball, the toss was nothing routine, and the run came in to score. Now Revere 0-2, needing contact. So the guy who hit for Max Scherzer drives in the go-ahead run. 2-2, and Revere strikes out on 3 pitches. The Nats get a big run on 2 hits, a walk in between. Rendon delivers.
It's 2-1 as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. That had to be our Miller moment, right? Just like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Anthony Rendon off the bench. It looked like a double down the line. Then Will Myers out of nowhere gloves it, and you're like, oh no, he's out. And then all of a sudden, off the glove, Ramos around third, and the Nats take a 2-1 lead. And then check out Max Scherzer and Dusty Baker right here. Watch this. This was between innings. Handshakes, handshake. Dusty, Nux, smile. Get out of here. Great stuff.
Anthony Rendon stays in to play third. Matt Belisle, who threw one pitch his last time out, that Chris Bryant double against the Cubs, in to try to get 3 outs here in the 7th inning. Melvin Upton Jr. can't catch up with 91 away from him. Upton career 0 for 1 against the Nats. 36-year-old right-hander who makes his 9th appearance of the year. Sure makes the whole situation a lot better for everybody now that the Nats have scored that run.
But, you know, even though that was stressful and, you know, Max was being a competitor and he wanted to stay in there, deep down Dusty Baker loved every minute of that. I guarantee you. He was the same way as a player. He's a fierce competitor too, and even though he had to tell his ace that you're done for the night, and there was probably some back and forth going on, he loved every second of that, and he wishes he had 25 Max Scherzers.
Two to Upton. Upton tonight, long fly ball, swinging strikeout. And Belisle just misses, painting the outside edge. Mercedes-Benz liked it.
Good pitch.
On a pitch down, it's pulled foul by Melvin Jr. Three-two. Tough play. Got a topspin on that ball, and Rendon couldn't get it cleanly. And he knew he had to because Upton can fly. Should be a base hit all the way.
You come into a big league game, ball's going to find you, right? In between hop, Rendon tries to swipe at it. It's got to be a hit. See that moment where he kind of hesitated, do I go back, do I go in? Then he finally decided to charge it and got a wicked hop.
Ryan Schimpf. Scherzer struck him out swinging twice tonight. Left-hander Ryan Buchter, left-hander Brad Hand. Low throw right into the runner, made it close. Sammy Solis now up for the Nationals.
I mean, you got to do this. It's a one-run game, bottom of the 7th inning. You got one of the best base stealers in the National League on first base.
Well, we talked about this earlier in the series. With the Nats scoring a lot of runs, they've been kind of been able to work through the bullpen situation. Tonight it is a for real, try to hold them scoreless and win a low-scoring, tight game scenario. Outside. That was the first pitch to Schimpf. Bullpen gave up a couple of runs on 3 hits last night. 1 run on 3 hits the night before. To the outside edge with 85. Matt Belisle, 567th big league appearance.
Quick pitch. Upton wanted to go. He couldn't. Disrupted his timing right there. He's trying to get a jump, and Belisle got rid of it quick.
Jammed him. It's a great pitch. Anthony Rendon right there. So 2 balls find him. That's a little easier. 1 out.
P-Nats wrap up their 5-game homestand at the Fitz Sunday. Highlights include Star Wars jersey auction. To join the party, call the number on your screen or visit the website.
Derek Norris about to face Matt Belisle for the first time. Nats have turned 64 double plays this year. They are in the top 4 in the National League in that category suddenly. Often that stat is a byproduct of having a poor pitching staff that allows a lot of base runners. In the Nats case, it's the first, second, or third best staff in the National League throughout the year, and means they've been executing pitches.
He is leaning.
Long hold.
I love this part of the game. I love when you have a legit base stealer on first. You're down by 1. Everybody in the park knows he's going. But the whole cat and mouse game of keeping him close. Remember D. Gordon earlier in the year before he got suspended. And Joe Ross sequence. This is very similar. Same type of situation. You got a guy with 15 stolen bases on first. He's leaning. He has to go. Somewhere in the sequence, he has to go. See the slide step? He couldn't. Belisle doing a heck of a job right now, keeping Upton Jr. close at first.
Norris 0 for 2 tonight, 1 for 6 in the series. Runner goes.
Got a bad jump.
Swing and a foul.
I'll take 1 strike for you, but I'm not taking 2, so don't shake your head at me if I foul off a pitch and you're running. Very rarely, if ever, are you going to take 2 strikes for a base stealer if you're hitting.
0-2 the count now. Upton actually backs up toward the bag. Time was called. And I guess the Padre fans are booing their own hitter for asking for time. Big crowd tonight. 34,113.
Looks like a lot of reporters in the stands.
It does. It's like an old-time baseball flick. Up the middle. Pitcher couldn't get it, but that's Espinosa right at the bag for a 6-3 double play. So the Nats turn number 65 on the year. Matt Belisle, and that's great for him after that double he gave up against the Cubs to get a scoreless, key, clutch 7th inning.
Check out the score, but check out the shirts in the fan club in the stands right now. Debbie Carpenter on the right, the better half of my partner. And they made those shirts, and I love them, and I want one.
Well, my daughter Allison and her friend Kristen, who decided to leave, I guess, before this. That's my son-in-law Ryan in the middle.
We had them all. They
left.
They just left. We had them all sitting there.
Kristen did those as a going-away present to Allison. She and her husband are moving to Seattle from Riverside.
See you later.
So on to bigger and better things. He's with Amazon, and we're very proud of him.
Those shirts would sell like hotcakes in the team store.
Wow, Taylor scorches one into left field. Michael A. on for the second time tonight. Got to be a hit. ALEXEI Ramirez trying to catch a rocket. So the 8th inning off to a good start. Brad Hand, by the way.
Bullet. Now see if Michael A. steals another base.
And
tonight.
in the certain hitter, certain pitcher department, Michael A. Taylor is now 5 for 6 career against Brad Hand. Harper 0 for 3, 3 balls in the air to center. But Bryce 4 for 16 with a homer and 6 batted in career against Brad Hand, who will check Taylor. Michael A. has already stolen 1 tonight, 2 in the series. And by the way, that gets his starting hitting streak moving with his 20th hit.
Apparently Brett Wallace is going to turn a double play right here because he's standing right by second base.
Yeah, that's the third baseman. And if they didn't leave ALEXEI Ramirez home on the left side, Bryce would probably bunt for a hit and have 2 on for Murphy.
So you're taking your shortstop and you're putting him at third. You're taking your third baseman and you're putting him at second. But he's supposed to act like a shortstop here.
And you got 2 fast runners potentially.
I mean, the shift's fine, but I don't understand why the guy that played short all night's now playing third, and the guy that's played third all night's now playing short. I don't understand.
Harper, that one got Bryce. Well, we've been told by some of the San Diego guys who cover the ball club that Andy Green is very big on sabermetrics, big on numbers.
Yeah, they have the
what
reason.
happens here and there numerically.
Where to get him? It obviously did get him in the shin guard. And if it did, there's a pre-existing injury there that even the shin guard can't help. I think it did get him in the guard.
Yeah,
but if
right.
there's a bruise right underneath that, and you got a shin burger working, and you hit it off that guard, it's still going to hurt. Got a spread out 2-strike approach here. Look at this. That's new.
And then Ramirez goes out to a shortstop position. Target away. A lot going on here. That's way away. And then the ball kicked by Norris, but Michael A. Taylor had already frozen. Couldn't restart. Looking back at Davey Lopes. So the leadoff man on with tremendous speed and 3 big guns, really 4 coming up, putting a lot of pressure on the Padres here. One-two pitch, and Taylor just strolling back in. Now the Nats fans have something to boo. Harper made an offer. He stopped. Says Carlos Torres, and the count's even at 2-2.
Did he go? No.
Now it's 2-2. Target inner half. Taylor running. Harper bouncing ball behind him. For a moment we thought Michael might head to the third base side, but Wallace got over there. So Bryce Harper does advance the runner. First out, 8th inning.
Great jump by Taylor, but you couldn't go with, you couldn't take it if you were Bryce with 2 strikes, but he could have went to third if he just kept rolling. But once he decelerated, you heard everybody screaming cover third, it was over.
So here's Murphy. Daniel 1 for 9 career. So one of the few lefties that's been hard on Daniel over the years. Tonight he's 1 for 3 with an RBI hit. He's driven in 46. And Taylor at second in the first inning. He attacked on the first pitch. There he goes again. Up the middle. Amazing stop by Ramirez. Murphy is out. I'm sure the Nats will have a look at it on the call by Sam Holbrook. Amazing range by ALEXEI RAMIREZ.
What a play. That's the play of the night. And basically, that's the only way you get Daniel Murphy out right now. So he was first pitch hunting like you called, partner. It went 5-hole, Brad hand on the ground. But what a play by Ramirez to get to his feet and get him. I thought he was out. Thought he was out the first time.
He is.
But, I mean, you can't extend any further than Ramirez got. The long arms and the long body of ALEXEI was the difference in that. Not too many guys have the reach that the Padres shortstop does. Good pick by Will Myers on the back end, too. Look at the snow cone. Unbelievable play.
It's up to Ryan Zimmerman. For some reason, they're looking out to center field. There's going to be a double switch here, evidently. Coming into the game is Alexei Amarista. Looks like Shimp will leave. You can't take a shortstop out after a play like that.
No.
Masson, brought to you by American Standard Heating and Air. It's their all-star sales event with up to $1,100 in instant rebates or 0% APR for 36 months. And by local Kia dealers. Visit Kia dealers, that's DCKiaDealers.com, to learn more. Beautiful ballpark, beautiful part of town in lovely San Diego. And now it'll be Ryan Zimmerman, 1 for 3 career against right-hander Kevin Quackenbush.
Got 2 pitches. The breaking ball is a curveball at 79, fastball 91. And for Michael Taylor on third, you're looking for that curveball in the dirt.
Alexei Amarista on the double switch, plays second base. He'll be batting 9th. Taylor at third. Now I was just thinking he's got to be looking for a breaking ball in the dirt here. That's how right-handers, as a rule, get Ryan Zimmerman out.
Maybe you were thinking it because I just said it.
Okay.
Maybe that voice in your head was mine.
Ryan 0 for 3 tonight. Kind of weird. 2 ground balls to the pitcher, redirected. 1 to the shortstop, 1 to the second baseman. 2-0. Quackenbush, an inning and a third scoreless on Thursday night. Zimmerman, base hit right field. Clutch. And the Nats have a 2-run lead on Ryan Zimmerman's 32nd RBI. And now over his last 15 games, he's driven in 10 runs. 3-1 Washington.
Look at him get on top. Classic Ryan Zimmerman swing. Roll the wrist. Bullet to right. Scores Michael A. Taylor, who's scored for the second time tonight. And Michael A. Taylor keeps this up. He's going to play.
Has to.
It's a good time for a Ryan Zimmerman ambush steal.
Wilson Ramos now, pitcher spot on deck. So Clint Robinson waiting to see what happens here. Ramos against Quackenbush career, 1 for 1 with an RBI. Seeing it so well. Ramos in the series, 4 for 11, a home run, a walk. Felipe Rivero for the 8th. Padres will have 8, 9, and 1 due up. And 2 of those are left-handed hitters. Ramos gets jammed and hits a fly ball that backs up Matt Kemp. But the Nats pick up a big run. Taylor, the leadoff single. 2 outs later, Ryan Zimmerman cashes in the run. Finale of the series tomorrow. Gio, he's 2-1 with a good career ERA, 3.38 against the Padres. Trying to turn things around, get his 4th win of the year, and maybe give the Nats a sweep if things work out tonight. There's another lefty, Drew Pomeranz. He's lost his last couple of starts. Has a good ERA, 5-7, 2.88. Byron and Ray, 4 p.m. Nats Extra. Masson 2. Felipe Rivero for the Nationals now, out of the bullpen. And for Felipe, who's been busy lately, another appearance. It'll be his 34th of the year.
Every day, Felipe, you're looking at him. 34th appearance. Opponents hit just .209 against the fastball slider changeup combination. Crossfire 3/4 release. Fastball 95 to 98.
38 Ks in 30 innings. Alexei Ramirez.
Make a great play, lead off the inning, the old saying goes.
Rivero gave up a run on 2 hits, inning and a third here Thursday night. Walked 1, struck out 1. Ramirez didn't play that night. And he's got a base hit on the first pitch, 95 heater, and he turned it around. Felipe much more hittable lately than he was in the first 7 weeks of the season. 24 hits in 30 innings now. We'll bring in ALEXEI Amarista.
So that hit by Ryan, huge right now, because in a 2-1 game, ALEXEI Amarista is bunting right here.
Yeah. And Felipe got him to bounce into a 4.63 2 nights ago.
Ooh, take that one. That looked outside.
In the air, short center, long way for Taylor. In and out of his glove. 2 on, nobody out.
I think he got fooled by the swing. Let's watch his jump. Kind of a stutter step right there. Then he turns on the jets. And kind of corrects himself. That last step, he stepped back toward third base. Look at that little correction he makes at the end. Maybe because he saw Murphy out of the corner of his eyes and he was thinking about a collision.
John Jay now.
What happened?
Jay against Rivero, first time. He's 1 for 3 tonight.
Is he bunting?
No sign of it there. Counts in his favor.
Somebody's scrambling in Nat's bullpen right now. It looked like Sammy Solis getting loose. Blake Trinan.
Two and 0. Yeah, Solis, he could warm up again, reheat in a hurry. Trinan now in a hurry. Yeah, Will Myers and Kemp, dangerous right-handed batters coming up. One pitch away from loading the bases. ROB, runners on base. Don't hear that stat very often, but that's a great number for a guy who leads off. He's also 21 for 51 with runners in scoring position for 12. And the bases are loaded with nobody out. Mike Maddox to the mound, indicating that Rivero stays at least for a while to face Will Myers.
Well, Blake Trinan's not loose. We just showed you him get up in the middle of that at bat to John Jay. So this is a 2-piece trip to calm him down and to get some other guys loose. And Mike Maddox is probably saying something effective. Hey, get a ground ball right here. And it's 3-2 with 2 outs and a runner on third. So we need you to work the bottom of the zone, use that sinker and changeup, and get me a ground ball.
Blake Trinan, by the way, in this series, 2 appearances, 42 total pitches in 2 innings. So Myers against Rivera. Myers doubled off the right field wall to knock him out in the 9th inning on Thursday. Nats lead 3-1, in jeopardy here, 8th inning. Off-speed pitch and he missed. Oh, he did. Got the outside corner. Came back at the last instant. We think.
Well, strike one huge, especially after a 4-pitch walk, because as a pitcher you can go from thinking about throwing a quality strike to just throwing a strike, and that's when the damage is done.
That's trouble, but here comes Taylor. Can't get it. This game is tied, and the runners end up at 2nd and 3rd. Max Scherzer's chance for a win gone.
Is this going to drop? Taylor had a beat on it, sells out, hit him in the glove on a short hop, and then Taylor goes skidding across the outfield and can't slow down because he was going so hard for the ball. That allowed everybody to advance.
Infield in, first base open. The Nats are going to walk Matt Kemp to load him up again. It'll be lefty-lefty, Rivera and Wallace.
Felipe just doesn't have that same snap, crackle, and pop he had in his arm early in the year, and you know we've chronicled how much he's been used.
You know, and I've wondered, FP, he's still throwing 95 with the fastball, but is it straight now? Is it not doing as much as it did before?
He was throwing 98 to 100 early in the season, so. And you're right that there's command issues and there's movement issues, which tells me he might be a little bit fatigued. That's all.
6th batter he faces in the inning. No outs, 2 runs in. Brett Wallace 1 for 3 tonight. Felipe gets ahead with the breaking ball. Upton on deck, right-hander. You would think Treinen for him. The pitcher spot is after that due to their double switch. Overpowered by the fastball, Wallace fouls it off. Third base Jay, second base Myers, first base Kemp, so good speed for the lead run and the add-on run. Oh, 0-2 pitch, had him reaching. How did Wallace get to that?
Just got a piece.
Probably the only way you reach that is with a one-handed swing.
Yeah.
Back to the pitcher. Home for 1. And the ball off the glove of Ramos. And the Padres have the lead. Boy, that's what you were hoping for. A 1-2-3 double play ball, and Felipe Rivero just didn't make good contact with it.
I mean, that's just where the doctor ordered a comebacker with the bases loaded, nobody out. And this ended a disaster for Dusty Baker's ball club. And that might have been it. He didn't get a good handle on it after the ball popped out of his glove. But let's watch it. This is a good angle right here. Or a bad angle, whatever you want to call it. Hey, he threw a changeup, palm ball. Dusty Baker and everybody at home can't believe what they just saw.
So Felipe Rivero gives up 4 hits, walks a batter, makes an error, and the Padres are in control. Really big test here. Matt Belisle got through a scoreless 7th. Rivero, really rough ride. Here's Blake Trinan, and as I mentioned, he's pitched 2 innings in this series, having thrown 42 pitches. So what does he have for Melvin Upton Jr., who's 1 for 4 career against him?
Well, hopefully a ground ball, and Dusty Baker with the situation at hand is choosing to bring his infield in right here with the bases loaded, nobody out, and he has to stop the bleeding.
Switch hitter on deck for the pitcher's spot. That's infield in. Looking for a ground ball like the one they just got. Slider low and away. Good morning to you back home, BCFP, DK, and Blake Trinan trying to work out of a huge jam here in the 8th. 3 runs in, 3 on, nobody out. Nats led 3-1. Things looking good after the Zimmerman RBI hit in the top of this inning. Ball 2. Thursday night, Blake walked 1, struck out 2, gave up a hit, scoreless inning. Last night, another scoreless inning, a walk and a hit. Upton, all systems go on 2-0.
Papelbon injury has thrown the whole bullpen out of whack.
Yeah. I heard somebody say on the radio the other day that the ball club is better than it was yesterday when Papelbon went down, and I severely beg to differ. Not one of our radio broadcasters said that. Trinan throws it away, picked by Ramos, and there's another run. 4-run inning, nobody out. And Yangervis Solarte will be the RBI, or rather the pinch hitter here, looking for a couple of RBIs. He'll be hitting for Quackenbush.
The blooper by Amarista is when I went, uh-oh.
Yeah.
I mean, everything else that's happened after that, I think that was the biggest blow of the inning. If for somehow, some reason you come up with that and it's 1 out, runner on first, so what? But then when that fell, it was not a good thing, obviously. The one thing you have to do, regardless of the situation, the role, and any reliever will tell you this, is just pound that strike zone. If they hit you, they hit you. But you can't put guys on for free late in the game. Not when you're ahead, not when you're behind, not ever.
Here comes Mike Mannix, and he has to before this might go to 3-0. You know, and for young relief pitchers, wow. Not sure what Brian Knight found wrong with that.
Well, he's looking for balls, not strikes.
Yeah. Young relievers, I guess, FP, there's always a certain amount of comfort knowing that there are experienced guys behind you, older guys who've been there, done that. And now half of that's been taken away because Sean Kelly is that guy right now, but there's just one of him.
Good point.
There he is on the right, Sammy on the left.
They've been lights out all year. They're just going through a rough patch because of, you know, everyone shuffled around now. And but like I said, whatever your role is, you got to figure out a way to get her done.
Another hitter trying to square one up on 2-0. This one into left, and that's trouble. Here come 2 more runs. And San Diego has a 6-run inning, and they lead it 7-3. And every one of those runs charged to Felipe Rivera.
Some nights this is just how it goes. No matter who you're playing.
Derek Norris will be the 9th Padre to bat. Still nobody out. There's that hard sinker. You saw Blake doesn't have to throw at 98 to have action.
Throw that pitch every single pitch.
Oh, 2.
I mean, that happened quick too, didn't it?
0-2 again, and Derek Norris hanging in there. Rendon to Murphy. The Nats go around the horn 5-4-3. The 9th batter of the inning makes the first out, and then another one tacked on to it.
See, that's the pitch that for right-handers it's almost impossible to elevate. Good pitch by Blake. It's the 5-4-3 double play, but look at this sinker. Watch it just feed it onto Derek Norris's hands. Good play by Rendon. Good turn by Murphy. Keep it within slam range. See what happens.
ALEXEI Ramirez started all this with a first pitch fastball from Rivero, hit extremely hard into left field. So Felipe's line completed for the inning. 6 runs, 5 earned without retiring a batter. Fernando Rodney, 13 saves on the year. That'll take Rivero's 5.34 ERA and make it 6.82.
He'll come down. He'll figure it out.
Even when that pitch is elevated, it's still tough to hit with late drop on it. So the Nats in this series, each starter has gone 6 innings. Roark Thursday, lost last night. Scherzer tonight. And a breaking ball popped up. Ryan Zimmerman on the call, and that's it. The Padres pick up 6 runs in the bottom of the 8th. Battle, and it's got to be a quick one for the Nats. 3 outs to go, down by 4. And when this one is over, we invite you to tune into the Nats Extra postgame show. Byron Kerr, Ray Knight. It's presented by W.B. Mason. When this one's over, veteran Fernando Rodney's been around for a long time. 13 saves this year. Not a save situation, but maybe for the Padres it is, the way this series has gone so far.
Yeah, the fastball for Rodney, 94. The changeup is one of the better changes you'll see at 82 miles an hour. Opponents hitting just 132 against the Padres closers, and they know something about closers in these parts.
So there is Jan Hervis Solarte. He'll stay in and play third base. Chris Heisey will get it going for the Nats here. This is the pitcher spot. Fernando Rodney, by the way, and again, not a save situation, but he does have 249 of those. And Chris, as a pinch hitter this year, 4 for 17, 3 solo home runs.
See Chris peeking down to third for that base hit bunt.
There he goes.
Not a bad idea. Got to load him up. See what happens.
Heisey facing Rodney for the first time.
They really haven't had a weird one yet this year, like this inning.
Yeah. That's a swing. If Felipe Rivero makes the play, it's possible this game is tied right now.
Yeah. But once it popped out of his glove and then he just reached for it, he basically threw a water balloon home because he didn't have a grip on it.
0-2 now to Heisey.
That changeup has so much action late, it just stops.
You know, I looked at that and I'm like, is that a split? I mean, that thing really broke in almost like a left-hander's breaking ball on Heisey. That's low and away. He did not go.
Did he go? Not even close.
Two-two pitch. Fastball right in there. 1 out, 9th inning. Danny Espinosa, also first career AB against Rodney.
I mean, he's throwing 95, and that changeup is over 10 miles an hour slower than his fastball. Anytime you have a double-digit split between a heater and an off-speed pitch, it makes it real tough.
Wow. Right in the middle of the back or upper arm area for Danny Espinosa. Nowhere to go.
This isn't even close. And the A in Espinosa. And from a guy that got hit a ton, if I could do it over again, one of these is going to get him in a bad spot, and it's not going to be a good thing. But he has such a habit of not getting out of the way. It's so ingrained. And once you're used to that, Carp, it's just a habit. And you're just hoping that one of these doesn't get him in a bad spot where he's going to miss time.
There's Anthony Rendon, who had the base hit off the glove of Will Myers 2 innings ago that got the Nationals on top. Rendon 1-for-1 career with a single against the right-hander. Pitch up. Counts even. 1-1. Big rip by Anthony. Strike call. Rendon thought it went low. 2 outs.
Anthony Rendon has been wearing some horrible strike 3 calls lately. And that one might be the worst of the bunch. Not even close.
Ben Revere at the knees. Ben 1 for 4 tonight. A ground ball, a couple of strikeouts.
Good take. I mean, fastball's 95, changeup's 83. And the Cubs gave up on this guy. I wonder if they wish they still had him. Because the back of their bullpen,
yeah,
they have issues. I'll take this guy if I were the Cubs.
Now 1-2. Ben Revere, base hit up the middle. Espinosa's going to scoot over to third base, and if Michael A. Taylor gets on, Bryce Harper's the tying run.
Well, that would be interesting. And this just got a little more interesting. Nice at bat by Ben Revere. Nicely done. And Michael A. Taylor has to think leadoff mode right here. Any way I can get on base, whatever I need to do to get Bryce Harper up.
Taylor 1 for 3 with a walk, 2 runs scored tonight. Facing Fernando Rodney for the first time. Rather 7-3 game. 2 runners aboard.
Dying hard.
Now it's 0-2. Taylor, swing, a foul tip, and the game is over. A well-pitched game by Max Scherzer. Did not eventually work out for the Nats. The bullpen had 9 outs to get and couldn't get it done tonight. And a 6-run 8th inning dooms the Nats. Still a chance to win a series tomorrow.